Hey guys, it's Deb with Deb's Cool Finds. I know, 2 days in a row, weird. But I had some interesting developments last night, so I thought I'd clue y'all into it. So good morning. It's a yucky Friday morning, weather-wise. It's gonna be raining all day, and it's just, what is it? The temperature's okay. It's like 71. Sorry, my phone does that when I drive, and I don't know how to fix it yet. But anyway, so you're going to be flipping back and forth. But don't get seasick. But yeah, so 71, 70-ish, whatever, but rainy, cloudy, no sun. But it's doable, right? It's Friday. For me, it's payday. Two great things. And I get out of work early on Fridays, so yay, right? All right, let me catch you up on last night. I was so excited last night. And I was dying to come in and tell my coworker friend, because she's been, I've been telling her this whole process. But she's not going to be in today. So, hi guys. I have to tell someone. All right, if you're new to my channel, I'll catch up a little bit, but I won't go into the entire thing. But, all right, so I live in a townhouse and I have an HOA. Now HOAs to me are good, the way that they keep, or they're supposed to, keep the community at a certain standard, right? So, if it's a single homes, they make sure you mow your lawn and you don't have, abandoned or unworkable cars all piling up in a driveway, or, loud giant parties till 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, whatever it is. I don't know. But they keep it, they're supposed to keep it just nice, right? They're not supposed to be this regime that just, pushes people around, or, is constantly looking for reasons to fine you, or reasons to take your house, which they can do if you don't know that. So we have this HOA, and the president of it had been on it for years, and he questionable moral standards, I'll say that much. I'll give you examples. So sorry, I went on a little hill there. During COVID, go back phone, I can't stand that. So during COVID, of course, people were struggling, right? So they were sending, because I was on the board at that time, so I do know the information firsthand. So anyway, they would write us letters and say, hey, I'm so sorry, but I lost my job. It's COVID. I barely have any money. Can you please defer my, HOA payments and until I get my job or whatever, or please just don't take my house, and what can I do about this? I can't afford to pay the whole thing, whatever. My heart broke, right? Yes, the rules say if you don't pay, we can put a lien on your house and we can actually foreclose on your house. But come on, it's COVID. It's something different. It's something worldwide. It's something catastrophic to the economy and to people's jobs and all of that. So come on, y'all. At least this person is contacting us, is requesting this, is coming clean, the whole thing. This board member, Mr., let's call him just Mr. So Mr. said, no, we're going to start legal proceedings against this person. And I thought, oh my goodness, do you have no empathy, no compassion, no anything? He was horrible. So then I started noticing around the community, like, that he let the our handyman person go, which is a young guy. He's like, he can't work for us during COVID, which to me was like, what? It's outdoor work. He's driving around on a golf cart. It's not a golf cart, but it looks like a golf cart. Driving around there doing work around the community, not in contact with humans. Why can he not work there? But he was like, no, we can't have him here during COVID. So we got rid of him. It's like another life he upset. And then so nothing was getting done. So we have these, we have a lot of dogs and stuff, and it's really nice that we have a few of the big garbage cans, and then the top of it has like doggy bags on it, so you can pick up after your dog. Well, those were just filling up and overflowing because nobody cared to do anything about it. So at the time I said, why don't we do that? Why don't we ask the community to do that? And he was like, no. So I said, well, I'll do it because this bothers me. So that's something I can do. It was disgusting as heck. It was so bad. Just the smell and the mess. Yikes. But anyway, I did it for free. But then he decided we still need the maintenance to be done around the community. True. We can't hire somebody due to COVID. False. But we can hire him. So he got his buddies on the board. I said no, I vetoed it, but they overruled me. He got them to allow him to pay himself $40 an hour out of our HOA fees, mind you. $40 an hour, and he would manage his own timesheet. So there was no management of was he really working this many hours, whatever. It went on and on until I brought it up to everyone I could think of because I'm like, this is just wrong. This is a conflict of interest. You're not allowed to do that. Board members cannot be paid. On and on and on, right? So finally enough people were like, no, this has to stop, that he stopped. But before he stopped, he made over $60,000. So, of our money that could have gone to fix the roofs and the other, okay, right, okay. So he got away with that. And then the company he was hiring to do big repairs around the place, Company A, he got himself a job with, even though it's a conflict, right? Because he's the one that's giving him contracts to do, to do work at our subdivision, whatever. But yeah, so he got a job with that company. It's like, okay. And then this big issue came up that the majority of roofs have to be replaced, which is a ton of money, right? It's 24 buildings. And supposedly he got other bids. But the bids, he was like, they don't really jive because the scope of work, things they have to do isn't the same on them. Now, I'm kind of in this business and I'm like, then you just go back to your vendor and say, this is my scope of work. You need to match that exactly and give us a price. That's what you do. But no, he didn't do that. So miraculously, the only company that he decided was good enough to do the work was the company he works for. Ding, ding, right? And their bid was, hold on to your hats, $2.9 million. There's no way I will ever believe the man wasn't going to get some kind of a kickback, some kind of a reward for bringing in to his company a $2.9 million contract. No way will you ever convince me of that. So in these last couple board member meetings, everybody's been furious because what they decided was we're going to let them do this work. They hadn't signed a contract yet. They signed a letter of intent, which they shouldn't have done either, but they signed it saying, you're going to get this bid. You're going to get this job. But according to our bylaws, they have to get bids and pick the best bid. But it was all rigged from the beginning, right? So they sent out a letter. It was like August, and they said by September 1st, you have to pay this special assessment to fix the roofs. They took the $2.9 million. They calculated the total square footage of everyone's home, square footage interior, like you do with taxes and stuff. So that's how they came up with it, whatever. So they determined that, and then they took the 2.9 and divided it by the square footage, and then that's how they figured out how much everybody would have to pay. So my unit is 1,100 square feet. So my bill that I was supposed to pay in a month was $11,000. Yeah. No way, right? Yeah. So, of course, and then it went up to the bigger units to over $20,000 they had to pay. So, and there's people that are retired there and all different situations that they're like, no. So we had a big board meeting and it got out of hand and people were so angry and they kept telling him it's conflict of interest and you need to pay back that $60,000 you earned and you can't give the contract to the company you're working with and you're getting a kickback. And he's like, no, I'm not. It's perfectly clear. It's perfectly fine. We're like, no. So nothing was decided. Then we had a second board. They were like, we're going to look at this. They had a second board meeting and came to us and said, you know what, we're going to create these committees. And you guys, you homeowners, get on the committee. But we're going to pick who gets on the committee, which was interesting. You get on this committee and we'll work things out. So there were several committees created. One of them was the construction committee. So their job was to figure out some way to get this roofing done where we're all not paying this kind of obscene amount of money. We know the roofs have to get done. We know it's going to be a special assessment. We know it's going to hurt money-wise to each person financially. But the amount they were quoting us was like, no, that's no. And it's your company. And it blah, 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 right? And he was, I just found out last night, he was going to be the project manager of the project. What? So, okay. Conflict of interest. Just alarms going off just blatantly, right? Oh, it's starting to rain more. Yuck. Let me get my windshield wipers going good. Okay. So, then they decided, okay, we got these committees now. We're going to let them do their work. We're going to have another board meeting. Well, that was last night. So, I'm like, I don't really want to go. I'll hear about the results on Facebook, but then I convinced myself, no, just go. So I came straight from work, my hour drive to the board meeting, started at 7, got there, sat down at a table, was listening to people talk, and they're all like, this guy, Mister's got to go, and this whole thing is ridiculous. So, we're all like, speaking of him, where is he? Because we didn't see him there, right? Because you sit out on tables and then in the front of the room, there's a long table and the board members sit at that facing us, right? And we're supposed to, and there's 2 open board member positions that we're there to vote on, which I had no confidence in because even if we vote in 2 superior people, there's 5 others on that board that were still enough to go with Mister's votes instead of us being able to do things without him. He's also changed bylaws and things that shouldn't have been changed. He also had an attorney that he picked at our last meeting who, the rudest man I've ever seen. He would not answer the questions. He wouldn't give us any legal detail. He was horrible. So, and there was a police officer at that meeting, that angry meeting. And I thought, he knows he's wrong. I'm sorry he won't admit it. He knows he's wrong enough that he knows there could be issues. So he hired a policeman to be at this meeting. It's just ridiculous. Nobody's going to physically hurt you, but okay. So, too many witnesses, right? So we're all like, yeah, where is he? Finally the meeting starts, and then we hear, no explanation, but we hear, all right, we have 2 people that have expressed interest in being on the board. We have 4 open seats, and we're all like, what did I just hear? 4 open? What are you talking about? There was 2 open seats. This gentleman, I felt bad for him because he is not a public speaker, and he was not very good with the mic, and he was not good at explaining things, and I just kept saying, somebody else go up there and do this. But so anyway, we finally got out of him that Mister resigned. Yay! The amount of happy faces, and there was some clapping and everything. It was like, oh my gosh, it was like a weight was lifted off of my shoulders, at least, and I'm sure others, because he was just horrible. But he resigned. And then one of his little followers resigned also. So that left those 2 seats, the 2 original open seats. So we had 4 open seats. There's just traffic everywhere today. Unbelievable. So I know it's the rain, right? And it's affecting my head here. I'm a little cloggy. Sorry about that. But anyway, let me take a drink. I talk and talk and talk. I did my miracle morning this morning. Yay! Okay, so I've been up since 5:30 and it's 7:41 and I'm still amped. Yay! All right, so he resigned. Okay, so then they got up the first person that had already, sent in her bio, of why she thinks she should be on the board. It's great and it's lovely learning about him, and that was awesome and everything, but if there's 2 seats and 2 people wanting the seats, it's like a no-brainer, right? But anyway, so the first woman got up and I loved her. Just kept talking about, we need transparency on this board. I'm a financial person. She was a CFO of a company. She's now retired, but she was a CFO. And she's like, we want transparency. We want to know where the money goes, how the money is spent. What, that's your hard-earned dollars, and we haven't been able to know where they go, and blah, blah, blah. She was amazing. So I was like, yes, that's a no-brainer on this lady. The next guy got up, and he had been the head of a company, and blah, 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 and he's retired, and da-da-da. We're like, yep, no-brainer. So then they're like, okay, we need nominations from the floor for the 2 open extra positions. So this one lady, I think I've talked about her, she's a realtor, but she's very intelligent, and she wanted to be on the board, and I would have put her on there in a minute, just not even a thought to it, put her on there. But Mr., during his reign of horror, changed our bylaws so that people who do not live full-time in their unit cannot be on the board. So this woman had bought the condo for her parents who are retired, and so she makes the payments, she's the owner, she's everything. She personally doesn't live there, it's her parents. Go ahead. And so she can't run, she can't be on the board. So I'm hoping they change these bylaws. But anyway, so she picked this gentleman to be on there, and I have heard him speak before, and I've seen him on our Facebook page, and I was like, yes. Plus, I get a little kick out of listening to him, because him and his wife just moved here. I know, wife, dang it. Him and his wife just moved here recently from South Africa. And I love that accent, so it was just too cool. So, and he's not that bad to look at either. So anyway, I segue. But so he came up and he talked about his experience and what he plans to do, and I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. Check. And then the last one, I'm not as sure about her. I know you can look at her and you can tell she got some money. So this assessment is not a big deal to her. And she even spoke like that. But she was like, I do this. I mean, her qualifications were great. That I do not dispute at all. Her qualifications were great. But her attitude I didn't quite like. So she just kept saying like, you live in this community, and it's just, when you own a condo, it's just going to cost you money, and it's the price of living in the location we live in, which is amazing. And then there's this assessment, and there'll be more special assessment. We're all like, what? Wait a minute, lady, we haven't even got through this. You're talking about taking more money out of our pockets? Yeah, she just kept going on like, it's just something you just have to do. And I'm like, if you have money and you can pay that assessment and it doesn't, number one, deplete your 401k, which is going to do for me. Or she's like, people just take out a loan for this. I'm like, oh, girl. So she's like, it's going to cost people the amount plus extra in interest to take out a loan. Or what if they have to pull equity out of their home? Now they got to pay it longer. The 2 ladies I was sitting with, one of them was like, she's like, I am 1 year away from paying off my mortgage. And now I have to get an equity loan. And now I'll have a bigger mortgage. The lady next to her was like, yep, I was 2 years away, and now I'm not. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you should. This woman hadn't been at other meetings, so I don't think she can comprehend the full impact of this on some of the people there. Like that lady that's really ill and she can't pay it, and all these different things. And the people that just, like one guy stood up and he's like, I just moved in here And it was like literally a week after I signed the closing papers that I received this letter for this giant chunk of change that I have to come up with after I just went through closing and down payments and everything and spent, my last $1, and now I find out I gotta pay 20 grand. So I don't think, and some people I've noticed never comprehend that, never can get it in their head that people don't have that money. That's like when they say I can't pay it, it's not I don't want to pay it, not it hurts to pay it. It's like, oh my gosh, I don't have the money. Yeah, and she said something to that effect too. Well, you just have to come up with it. Anyway, so finally we voted these 4 people in. It's like, yes, we have this new group. So 4 new people, 3 old board members still on the board. So at least the new people now have the majority. So hopefully the 3 that are left are sensible people and weren't Mr. followers, and we'll get this going. But then what really got my night going, first of all, I'm like, yay, I'm on a high because don't say the name. Mr. is gone. So next person that comes up to speak is the gentleman, one of the 3 gentlemen that were picked to be on the construction committee. He talked so well. You could tell he knew what he was talking about. He knows construction. He knows what they were looking for. He understands the issue with the money, and the other board member, the gentleman from South Africa, was also on the construction committee, and he just made so much sense. But anyway, he said they got 7 bids. 7 bids. And out of those 7 bids, they took those 7, and then they were like, okay, some of them, the scope of work isn't quite up to par. It's not equal grounds everyone's bidding on. So then they went back and they made these people change their scope of work. Well, 2 of them didn't quite ever do it right, so they were down to 5 bids now. But at least they understood the concept of a bid can be revised if it doesn't meet your scope of work, if it doesn't have, a chimney in there, it doesn't have whatever. You say, change your scope. So, which will change the price too, but yeah, it's all in there. So down to 5. And then I think price-wise, there's something they were down to 2. And then out of those 2, they picked 1. But they not only talked to these companies, they walked the property with each of these companies and talked it all through. They went on Yelp and Better Business Bureau and all that, and reviews on each of these companies to find out, people with a good reputation. They did so much. I was like so thrilled with this. So, they checked if any of them had lawsuits against them, which is like, amazing. And then fortunately also the company they did pick, so my subdivision is kind of weird because a little piece of it is a different HOA, which is strange. But anyway, the company that did their roofs is the company we eventually picked. Just happened to be best price, best company, everything. And we all watched when they put those roofs on. They did them fast, they did them beautifully, nice. It was awesome. So I'm very happy with this. Everybody's very happy. And remember the original bid of the Mister's company, 2.9 million. Well, they could not come down to meet the price of this other company. The guy said they couldn't do it. And I'm thinking, yeah, because they gotta pay that payoff to Mister. Sorry, being sarcastic. But yeah, they couldn't come down. So bye-bye. But they went from the 2.9 million original bid to 2.1 million. So they're saving us $800,000. So the amount we owe will go down a bit. So hallelujah, right? So we're also happy. And there was other things too. A lifetime warranty. They did the other work right. So 1 company only, no subcontractors or anything. So they'll be managing the entire project. That's awesome. The amount of stuff they're doing, this probably won't make sense, but it'll be like our buildings, from the bottom of the start of the roof all the way to the top. Gutters are included, soffits included, roofing materials included. It was just everything. It was more than the original bid that it covered. They even had them add a better quality shingle than the other bid, so it would hopefully last longer. It's supposed to, because we live on the lake, right? Or off of the lake, not on the lake, but it's right there. So we get big winds off of that lake, and we're on a hill, so the units that are on the top of the hill, they really get that strong wind at times. So they upped the quality of the shingles to they're 100 and they can handle up to 130 mile per hour winds. So that's amazing. Like, it'll help us. So of course a tornado comes, yeah, we're in trouble. A huge giant hailstorm, yeah, we're in trouble. But it should, handle the majority of hailstorms, wind, everything. That was amazing. There's a couple other things too. I was trying to write them down, like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, this is amazing, this is amazing. So yay, so Mister's gone and our price should drop. Now, there is one thing though, after they discussed this all, he did say, sorry, I'm trying to merge here. He did say that there is an issue with the original company, Mister's company, because he signed a letter of intent with them. But even in my business, I know that letters of intent are not binding contracts. But because the company didn't get the bid, don't you hate when you're trying to merge, you see the lane ends, and the car next to you speeds up on purpose so that you cannot merge? Like, that one car length is going to get them to work so much faster. That's what this guy just did. Anyway, but when the company found out they weren't getting the bid, they are threatening now to sue us because of this letter of intent. So now we do have to pay some lawyer fees on that, but hopefully we'll get out of that and we can go with this current company. And then it came out also, which I just found ironic, that the reason Mister resigned, because I'm like, what would get him off this board? What caused this? And they weren't saying. Finally, they said that they made the decision today to go with the company they're going with. He found out, they told the whole board, here's our decision, we're going with this company. And because it wasn't his company, he resigned. Doesn't that tell you something? It tells you so much. Like, this deal was not above board. This deal, he was going to get something for that. It's just all, yeah. I mean, and he always spewed, I care so much for the community. And his followers would say that he just cares so much. He's always around the community. He's always doing things. He cares. He's making money off of the company that he hired. They then gave him a job, and he still has them doing work on our property, which is total conflict of interest. He made money paying himself. He stands up on the little hill with his dog every morning like he's king of the hill, and cars stop and speak to him like he's, so he gets off on that. He likes that power thing, little power trip. So yeah, he was not happy and he resigned. I'm sure it was in complete and utter anger that he resigned. But he resigned, so hallelujah. And I'm like, how petty, just how petty, sir. But anyway, so yeah, so we just got to get through this figuring out this letter of intent thing. And then once they do that, they want to do the project sooner. Like the Mister was saying, well, we could do it in a year, and then you have a year to pay us. And we're like, okay, but what about the people that can't pay? Well, we have no plan for that. Okay, that's awesome. All right, we'll give you 2 years to pay. It's like $11,000 in 2 years, still undoable, but okay. But then, okay, now you got 2 years. So now, again, still, what's the question of, what if somebody can't pay? You won't have the full amount to pay for all the roofs. No response to that. This committee said, we considered that, So what we decided to get this project done is that they will, okay, it's supposed to be done in 7 to 10 months now, so a lot sooner. But if you pay fast, you're done. You just pay that amount and you're done. If you need some kind of a payment plan, then you will pay your payment plan plus interest, because to handle the fact that, some people will be on payment plans or not pay at all, they're going to have to get a loan for that remaining amount, right? And it's not fair to put that loan, repayment, interest, all that, on the homeowners that have paid already. So they will put all that onto the people that are on payment plans and who haven't paid, and go after them for that money. But at least the loan will pay for it, so the roof will get done, and then we just have to go and collect that money back. But it won't be all the homeowners, it'll just be the ones that don't pay. So yay. At least a solution, right? Something. If there's a problem, here's a solution. Thank you. So that was good. And so I had already decided, you know what? Stop fretting on this. You need to stay in your house. You can't move out in the state it's in right now. We need the roofs. So bite the bullet. Take it out of 401k. That's the only extra money I have. Take it out of there. Put it into this. I will get that money back upon resale, because once we fix things up around there, the resale is going to bump up, because our location is amazing. I keep saying that. I hate this long drive, but I love where I live, so it's worth it. So that location, I will sell my house and I will make money. So put that in my head. The money will come back to me at a later point. So it's not like it's just throwing away the money. It will be there in the value of my home. All right, I've already got my brain all around it, and we're cool. Oh, I'm supposed to get off there, but I'm too busy talking to you. Oh well. So I got it in my head. I'm gonna pay it. But anyway, so they have to figure out what's going on with this letter of intent and between the lawyers. That gets cleared up, then they will send out the letters saying what we have to pay, and then we'll pay it. Then they'll find out the people that don't pay it right away, they'll get the loan, we'll start on the project, and boom, 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 get our roofs done. So yay. So yeah, I was happy about everything in there. I mean, I wish I didn't have to pay this, but you knew it was coming, and it's unavoidable. So I've changed my thinking on it, because I'm learning in my miracle morning and different things that it's your brain, and it's different people could encounter the exact same situation, and some will get depressed about it, some will be okay about it, some whatever. And the reason that we have those different responses is our brain, and how we are, what kind of light we're putting that situation in, how we're handling it, how we choose to handle. And I am choosing to think of things positively and get through them. And I remember the name of the book I'm reading in the morning. It's Positive Optimism. Positive Optimism. So that's what I'm trying to do. And so I'm just trying to think about this guy and find all the good parts of it. But the good parts, Mister's gone. Mister's company's gone. We're going to pay less. The value will go up in my home, and I'll get that money back when I sell. And okay, on and on. So it's not like I'm throwing away that 401k. I'm just putting it in a different savings bucket in a way, and putting it into my house. So yeah, that's awesome. So I was so thrilled with this meeting, and I met some nice people, and it was great. We have a plan. We have answers to the questions. We have new board members that I believe are going to have more transparency in how they spend our money. Oh, that's the other thing. So the lady that I was like questioning, like her ability to understand this money issue with some people. So after we heard all about the roof and everything, she stood up and she's like, we really need to hire a project manager, and then that person will make sure that the roof project goes well and that there's no added costs and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. She just kept going on, and I'm thinking, no, lady, that's more money. You're not understanding this. But luckily, the guy from South Africa, our other new board member, stood up and he was like, yeah, no, we're not going to hire it. That would be more money, and what we're trying to do is lessen this burden on people, not increase it. And then he said, him and the other guy on the construction committee said, you know what, we understand that, and we're aware of that. We know this process of construction. And he's like, I work full time, so I cannot project manage it on a moment-to-moment basis, but it's like we all are dedicated to following this through, to speaking with the builder constantly, to checking the work all the time. The other thing we like about this company is there's one person we'll have to talk to. They have their own project manager. There's no subcontractors. It's just one company, da-da-da-da. And then the other new board member lady stood up and she's like, I'm retired. I understand this process too. I have no problem being on site all the time and making sure things are going well. So I was so happy with this new board. Like, oh my gosh. It was awesome. And none of them were afraid to, or uncomfortable to express their opinions and to get up and speak eloquently, because there's a couple people on the board, the three that are still there, original three. I noticed that, like I said, the one guy couldn't speak very well, and he's probably got a lot of other qualities, but public speaking is not one. And so he was having issues, and he was giving the wrong answer at times and things. And then the other person on the board was just silent. And then the third person, a woman, she would like tell the other guy what he's supposed to do, but she wouldn't speak to the audience. So I'm like, yeah, those three are kind of more passive type of people, where the four new ones, well, 3 out of the 4 new ones are more assertive people. So I'm hoping that they kind of stick up more and get more things done than the more complacent board members or the followers. So I hope they just keep following these new people. In that instance, I'll take a follower. But yeah, so that seemed really cool, and it seems like they've got this project under control and they've got a plan for it, and it's just amazing. So, and I liked how the other board member, understood the financial aspect and burden of all this, and was like, we're going to try and keep this cost as low as possible, because at some point later we might have to do another lower assessment, but another one to just get the rest of stuff done around here, to get it to some point where it's manageable on an everyday basis, just with our dues, to handle all the workload. Because it is a lot of our stuff is made out of wood, so there's wood everywhere. The stairs, the building, the railing, there's just so much wood, and it is older, so there's a lot of wood that needs replacement, and different railings and different, it's just maintenance that wasn't done because of that board. So they might have to come up with something later. I'm not looking forward to it, but hopefully it won't be this extreme, but yeah. Oh, and the lawyer, I mentioned we all hated that lawyer. The board also said we're getting a different lawyer. That lawyer, he was absolutely just wrong for us. So they are getting a different one. So that was another good piece of news. I think that was it. Let me see. I'm stopped at a light. So yeah, they said that the roofing, gutters, gables, siding, chimneys, roof, 130 mile per hour rated, 7 to 10 month project, 30 to 60 days we have to pay once we do get that letter. They're getting a new attorney. And then somebody said, I'm not sure mine will do it, but I'm going to try. They said once we get the letter, to file a claim with your insurance company, because some insurance company and some adjusters will actually cover part of that. So one lady, the guy said he'd cover everything except her deductible. I was in shock. So, it's worth a try. I'm not getting my hopes up, but it's worth a try. to see if they will cover any part of this assessment. So that's something else I learned. And yeah, I left feeling bubbly. The only bad part was it didn't leave till like 8:30. By the time I got home, that's when I ate my dinner. I woke up this morning feeling like my body didn't digest my food at all. Like it's still like just kind of it's like yucky. It was hard to exercise, especially I'm like that lazy, what is it called? Lazy Fit app. Do I turn to this light? Yeah, let me get to the left lane here. Sorry. So it's this app and it does this, less than 10-minute exercises for you, and it's really a nice app. It's really easy to follow what they're doing, and it's video and the whole thing. It's really good. But and you can do it in your bed. I mean, you literally, that's how she talks, like have you raise your leg and then drop it down to touch the bed. I'm not in bed, but it's cool. But anyway, so this, I feel like I'm like TMI, like bloated or whatever, because I really feel like my food didn't digest last night. So, and all I had was my chili that I made, and I had a thing of microwave popcorn. That's my dinner. But so this morning, the exercises were all like laying on your stomach. I'm like, seriously? Like, the day I'm having like, oh, my stomach kind of hurts, as the day I have to lay on my stomach and do these exercises. Like, why me? So like the Superman one, which I hate this one. I know it's good for me and I do it and whatever. And as my back gets stronger, it will be easier. I keep telling myself, but you like lay on your stomach and you put your arms out totally straight in front of you and your legs straight behind you. And then you raise both your arms and both your legs at the same time off the floor. So you're just resting like on your stomach, and it's your back that's the muscle you're working. But oh, my stomach after that exercise, this is like, oh my goodness. I'm so sorry, tummy. But we got to do this. So almost all of the exercises this morning were on my stomach. I'm like, please, why? And then I really didn't want to do my treadmill and my running because I'm like, oh, my stomach. But I did it. I'm proud of myself. I did it. So, yeah. And I did all the rest of my miracle morning stuff. So, yay me. But yeah, that was my little issue this morning. So my tummy is kind of like, I don't like you, because I ate so late. It was bad, but I made this ginormous, because I have a ginormous crock pot that I used to have because I was the party thrower, so I wanted all of these things big, right? But I just filled it up and made a chili, a homemade chili. And I thought I need to do this so that I'm not tempted to go get something fast food because I get home at 7. Sometimes I'm like, let's get some. No, I want to eat better. And this isn't bad for you. It's just, what did I make it with? Tomato juice, chopped tomato, the Rotel tomatoes with peppers in it. That's some black beans, some kidney beans. And I used ground turkey instead of ground beef and just seasoned it. Lots of chili powder. And then I did something weird. I stuck some black olives in there, but I actually like it. I don't know why it occurred to me or why I wanted to do it, but I was like, I'm going to throw this in there. And it was actually good. But I like olives. And I think that's it, right? Yeah. And then spices and all that, and just cooked it all day in the crock pot. And so I have these big containers of it, and I put one in the freezer and 2 in the fridge, and then I just take a couple scoops at night. I put some cheddar cheese on the top, shredded cheddar cheese on the top, put it in the microwave till that like melts and heats it up for the night. And then a little bit of, I used to like sour cream in it, but I take my Greek yogurt, my Fage, F-A-G-E. It says how to pronounce it on the container. It's Greek yogurt. Not flavored, just the regular, so doesn't have the sugar in there. But so yeah, and I use that instead of sour cream. I actually can't tell the difference, and I just take a couple spoonfuls and mix it in, and it just makes my broth like a little thicker and creamier, and it's really good. Really good. So anyway, I've been eating that for dinner every night. So I'm like, last night, and I do these things, and I remind me of my grandma. I've told you that story where we used to take my grandma shopping, And she'd fill up her whole cart. We'd be there like 2 hours in this discount store. And she'd fill up almost her whole cart. And then she'd slowly be like, oh, I don't really need this. Or, oh, this won't work quite well. And by the end, she'd empty her whole cart and leave with nothing. But she got the thrill of shopping, right? And dreaming and just visualizing things. And I find myself doing that sometimes with regards to food. It's so bad. But like all the way home last night, I was like, I should just get something fast. Well, last night wasn't as bad. I think it was the night before or the night before that. But I was like, there's this new sandwich at Panera Bread. And it's so good. It's got like avocados in it, and it's on sourdough bread. I believe it's turkey, whatever. It's got aioli, sauce, whatever that's called. It is so good. It's big too. It's so good. And so I wanted to get that. I wanted it so bad. So all the way home, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get that. Yeah, the heck with it. Just get that little bag of chips. Yeah, it's gonna be a great dinner. And I'm like tasting it, kind of visualizing what it's gonna taste like, and I'm just enjoying my sandwich, my invisible sandwich, because I'm driving. I haven't gone to Panera. So I'm enjoying it, and then by the time I get to my turn off on the highway to my house, I'm like, yeah, no, you have chili at home. Go home, eat your chili, just be good. And then I do. But I got the enjoyment of that sandwich all the way home. Even though I didn't literally eat anything, I enjoyed my sandwich memories. I know, I'm weird, but I admit my weirdness, so give me some points for that. Anyway, it was delicious. So Grandma, here's to you. But yeah, so it's so good. I might get it over the weekend just because. I tried to see a movie last weekend, but I didn't see anything good. Has anybody, if you've gone to the show, if you've seen that movie out, which I wanted to go see, it's called Here. But then my brother, and I don't always agree with movies with him, so I'm taking that into consideration. But he put on there at the cinema, and then he put watching Here, boring. So I don't know if that's just him or if the movie's just boring. And I don't want to use my free ticket if it's going to be a boring movie. So if you've seen it, let me know. If you've watched me or listened to me or heard me talk about movies long enough, you kind of know my taste in movies. So yeah, let me know if I should go or if it's a waste of a ticket. But anyway, I want to do my budget again this weekend. Just go back over it, see how I'm doing, knocking out this debt. And then I'm going to look into what type of volunteer opportunities are at my local animal shelter. We'll see about that. We'll see if I'm ready for that, because I'm missing my baby so much. But yeah, that's about it for this weekend. Oh, and I'm going to make some videos for Temu. I have like 3 or 4 packages at home that I'm dying to get into. One of them has a bunch of Christmas fake Lego little sets, which you know I love putting together because I want to put them on my desk at Christmas. But anyway, so I'll be making them. Don't look for all of them because I'll be spacing them out when I publish them. But hopefully I will make a couple. Hopefully I will make one tonight when I get home, because I get home early, and then over the weekend. But if I don't go anywhere on the weekend, I'm like, I don't want to put on makeup and do my hair for my videos. I'm lazy. But I don't want to punish you by making a video without doing those things. So, all right, guys, I need my phone so I can let myself into the garage. I'm at work. And have an amazing Friday. Thanks for sharing my good news with me. Hope it works out and this payment isn't a killer. But like I said, I'm going to get it back in the resale, right? Okay. Yes, I am. So, yeah. Thanks for sharing my ride with me again. It felt like minutes, and we were driving for a long time. So, all right, guys. I love you. Thanks for watching me. Thanks for staying with me, even though I've been bad about posting videos. I appreciate you hanging on with me. So, and Adrian, I haven't got back to you with your comment on yesterday's video, but I loved your comment, as I always do. And she always writes a really long comment, and so I just don't want to heart it or just say something short. I want to actually answer, but Sometimes it takes me a while. But so I wanted to tell you, I appreciate it. I appreciate all your comments. You're always so sweet about the comments from yesterday. So thank you. I appreciate you all. I appreciate those comments, and they mean so much to me. So thanks. All right, guys, find something positive today. Positive optimist means, yeah, go out there and make it happen. Make yourself find something positive in life today and enjoy it. Whatever it is, just enjoy it. Allow yourself to enjoy it. Okay, guys, love you. Gotta get to work. All right, bye. Mwah.